Hey, how's it going, everyone? I'm back for the next step and stage for this rod building tutorial. And today, in this segment, we're going to jump into basically putting together the handle and reel seat onto your rod. So what we're using here, and this is actually a 13-foot 7/8 Spey rod 4-piece. So I know Matt over at Proof has his videos on a graphite rod for just your normal kind of single hand rod, but this one is going to be the Spey today. So I'm going to jump into just the steps you need to put this first piece on, and then we'll kind of go from there. And when one note to remember here is that the same thing when I got this kit from Matt. The key word is kit. This came together as a kit, so everything fits nicely on this rod, from everything from putting on the handle, which sometimes you need to ream it out a little bit with a file. This one I don't think we're going to need to do that at all because it's set. To the guides, everything's just set up for this rod. If you weren't to get a pre-made kit, then you might not have everything fit so perfectly. So that's definitely one big part of it. You want to verify that everything fits, and I've already done this. I've got a couple pieces here, but you can see, I'll just take you down and show you on this lower level really quick. Basically we have the rod, and when we put it, let's see here, I can throw this on right in there. It slides up really nicely. And then I just push this on until it sits. Basically the rod sits right in the back. So this thing fits really nice. It's not a problem. And same thing when I do the reel seat. I just slide that on, and it actually goes this other way. With this Spey rod, this reel seat is going to sit inside of this. So you can see I put that on, and this piece actually fits, slides up inside really nice. So you have that, and then this piece essentially goes on from the top, and then you slide that down until it fits. Pretty much this is going to fit just really snugly right with that. So you can see that's just a nice tight fit. So basically that's kind of what we have here with the rod. Obviously it's there's going to be a little work putting this thing together here, but that's it's pretty simple. Make sure to get this on the right way. It sits down, like I said, it sits down inside this lower portion. So that's one thing. And as I noted on the guides with this kit, the guides that this comes with do not have to be filed or sanded. They're already the guides that you get from the Proof kit are all ready to go. So you can just start wrapping. So that's going to take out another piece of it. And we have some epoxy here, which we noted this in a previous video, the epoxy. And we're going to be mixing these two things. And then we just have some tape, which we're going to help get started here. So this part, I guess, is fairly straightforward if things fit like this does. And so I think we can just kind of jump into it. Again, I'll take you down to this level and show you here. So we have basically our setup. Like I said, this thing comes off. I'm going to pull this up. And so to make sure this fits right, you basically set, and this actually has a little topper right here, which goes on just like that. It's got the wider part actually goes to the top, and that just is going to sit right next to your handle on the top. So I'm going to put this on again and show you. So we're going to mark this, just get into really marking. So I'm going to push down all the way until it hits. So it just hit that bottom of the rod, hit right there. And you can measure that out if you want, just to see. You can put your hand here, pull it off, and then take it back and measure, see if that's about right. Yep, so where it hits my thumb is right there, and that's right where you want to be. So again, I'm going to put that on, down, and then I'll snug this up. So that's pretty much how that's going to fit. And then what we want to do is push this down, because we're going to mark this. We're going to mark this with some masking tape. So there you go. So that's the rod all set up, ready to go. As far as the length, what we're going to do here is take a little piece of masking tape here, because we want to mark and know where to put the epoxy, and we're just going to put that right there so we know the epoxy does not go past that point. Right there. And we'll pull this off after we get done here. And then we can do the same thing down here. On this lower end, take some masking tape. Just so we can mark, because we don't want to put any really excess epoxy. We want to get just enough. So I'm going to wrap that around. There we go. So again, so that's it. So basically you have this thing and it's marked now. Now we can pull this off. Fits really nicely. So now when I pull this off, I basically know exactly where we're going to put the epoxy, which is going to go right in here. One note on this, and I kind of know this before, but this it fits, you know, obviously it fits nicely onto this rod because it's kind of set for it, but you might have to get a round file if you have another kit and actually sand out this until it slides down and fits on your rod. I'm not going to touch on that here because this one's solid. But yeah, so the next thing here is basically, since we're ready to go, we can take our resin mix. I'm going to drop down here again and show you what we're looking at here. Basically, we have the two, these two that come with the proof kit, and we also have our little spatula, and this will keep from mixing things together. But the other thing I want to grab up here is one of our mixing cups that also comes with the kit, and this has, so when you mix this stuff, this is takes about 30 seconds. You just want to mix it for 30 seconds, and you only have about you know, it says 5-minute epoxy, so you want to do this pretty quick. So I'm going to take a nice, I guess it's probably about a tablespoon chunk, as you can see, about like that, maybe even a little more. I'm going to put that in there. Maybe I'm going to get just a little more just to make sure we got enough here, because we got a big handle. Okay. So that's that. And then we're going to take the other part. I'm going to just wipe some of this off right here. Then we take the other end and we just get an equal amount. So make sure we don't mix. And this epoxy is nice because it's not really watery. It's as you can see, it's fairly thick. I'm going to put that and get a little more. There we go. So like I said, once you get it, now we're just going to mix it for about 30 seconds. So I'm going to put this lid back on. We'll just mix it. Get a little bit on my hands. Get that off of there. Alright, so we're still mixing this. Okay, so I think it's about good. You can see it starts changing. It starts kind of changing colors here as you get into it, and so that should be about good. It's kind of gets kind of an off-white color. So I'm going to do here is, now that I have this, I'm just going to start putting this on the rod, and I'm going to slowly cover it. I'm going to start from the bottom, or from the top piece, and I'm going to put, when I do this, I'm going to put a little more on the top part of it, because it's going to, as it slides down, it's going to fill all the gaps. So we just want to make sure to get this full. So I'm just gonna make sure to cover this whole thing all the way around. Just still moving up forward on it. Get some more here. And remember, this is 5-minute epoxy, so you know you don't want to sit here and take 10 minutes. You want to get this stuff on. And again, so as I get back to the back end, I'm not going to put quite as much. So I'm going to get some on there, but I'm going to kind of slide it and make sure that I get more towards the front end. And I'm just kind of covering everything here. So it's looking pretty good. I got quite a bit up here. I'm going to put another little chunk up front. This is about the right amount because I'm just about at the end here. And I'm going to just do a little more here. It's starting already to feel maybe a little tacky. Alright, that's good. So I'm looking pretty good. I'm feeling like I can slide this handle on now. Alright, so I'm going to do that. And before I do that, I'm going to pop off this tape. But as you see, we know when we put this on before, remember where we marked it? This came up right to there. And we marked it right at the base, so we don't want to put the handle past that little mark on the back end. So we're going to do that right now and slide this baby on just like this. And when you do it, you can kind of slide and spin it a little bit. And it'll kind of work in there. And right now I can see you got a little bit of excess that's going around here, but we're going to take that off as we get closer. Do that right now. Take a little bit of this off. Just rub it down here. Because we had a nice solid fit. That's the one thing with this. We had a nice solid fit on this. And you can see there's plenty of excess here. I'm gonna pull this off. I'm probably gonna start having to take a little bit off. I'll do that right now. Just kind of put some of this over here. Basically, I'm taking a little bit of the excess. I'm just wiping it down here on my piece of paper because we got plenty. I'll keep going down, getting closer. I got a little more excess here. Alright, now it's getting tighter. I'm getting down the end. I'm going to go right up to this tape. Right about there. Alright, I'm going to wipe off the rest of this now. Okay. That's about it. So I'm right there, right at the end where I want to be, and I've got the mixture. Everything's feeling seated. So I'm going to let this just sit for now for a little bit, and then we'll go back and we'll work on getting the real seat set up and the rest of the steps here. So that's it for this one, and we'll look forward to showing you the next step as we move on here in this rod building tutorial.